Say hello. Hello. As you see, what have I done? What have I done? I used some of these marker paint brushes and I created this look. First time doing on a 3D model? Yes. These right here. I don't know. One day I was just like, let me see what I can do with them. So I gave it a shot. These right here, as I open up, it's just a little paintbrush looking thing that looks like a marker. Okay? Let me know how I did with this look. Is she the face or is she out the race? Give me a rate from, I'd say 1 through 20. um, Up close. It's an up close view. What I have used for the colors. For the eyebrow, I use this color. Can you see? Can you see? You cannot see? Oh, there you go. There you go. Woo, woo, woo. Abracadabra. All right. So, let me demonstrate what it looks like. Flop goes my markers. I had to use the box. All right. So, with the box here, as much as you press down, you get a decent wet feel of a actual marker, right? Well, it's very easy to use once you are putting on face, as I say. But yeah, I created this look um, with this blue. Oh, and I love this. It's a dual marker paintbrush. So you don't have to rumble through another marker that may end up falling on the floor, and the color that you may use is falling and gone. So you just swap it like that. Swap it, abracadabra. Swap it. But I had used this for the corner, and ooh, this black is gone. Because it's really not a lot in here, okay? It's not a lot. But I had to make it work. From the eyebrows to the eyeliner and to the lip liner. Wow, I definitely created a look. If I put this in a truck and somebody was looking through my truck, oh yeah, they'd be like, "Who is that beautiful woman?" Yes, but it's crazy how I know how to contour on a mannequin, but I can't do this on myself. I don't know why, but everything is like straight across. Everything is straight on here, even the eyes. Like I was just wondering what color would look right with this. This is the color I had used. It's a mint green. It's a mint. Yeah. Uh-oh. Minty green. That's what it is. But I had used that. And it's my very first time wearing a wig. So, um, ooh, ooh, wait. Oh, took off the stocking cap too. Okay. Here. But yeah, I only had enough brown to actually do the front face, as you can see. Because it is not a lot of brown that's giving off up in this paint. So I just had to blend it like a makeup brush, you feel me? So let me let y'all see what this is looking like on me. So you got to play with it from what the lady was telling me in the store. Because before then, I had it like I had no forehead. Yeah, it looks like me. Looks like my hair. But I simply didn't have the tools on the road to be doing my hair like this. So I did it for a little commercial audition that I did. Hopefully you see it. If not, then hey, I did my best. That's all I can ask for. Huh. Hmm. Well, yeah, this is that. And this is the back. Are you seeing a good picture? Are you seeing this? Yes. And with this wig, you can put up to 400 degrees of heat on this. And when you wash, um, just don't brush it. Don't brush this hair. Just shake it. Just shake it. And let the water fall out and let it air dry and everything because it apparently loses its bounce. But when you curl this hair, you do not have to set them rollers because it will bounce back with them curls. That's what I love about this. And it didn't too much cost me a lot. It cost me like $30. 3030. But yes, as you see what I am named her. I didn't have her a name. I didn't give her a name. I just said I am her. So meet Taylor. Of course my face don't look like this. Especially not up this morning. No. But how did I do? Thank you for watching. Talk to y'all later. Gotta start my day off with making some money. If them wheels ain't rolling, guess what? You are not making any money. But yeah, I had to get me a hotel, man. She was being out here on this road. Oh my goodness. If I would have never picked this year off so bad with the weather in the winter coming so fast. Oh my god. This company is based out in Fargo, North Dakota, as they call it. Fargo, North Dakota. Welcome to Fargo. Okay, let's see. But as soon as I got there, the weather was not welcoming. It didn't welcome me well. It was already in the negative. Do you hear me? It was a freezer outside. I felt like frozen beef. Something frozen. Cause I definitely didn't feel thawed. I didn't feel hot. But I simply came prepared. I did. I have a pillow as a coat. Cause it's just that big and fluffy. And I also have a windbreaker 3 actually. Yes. My dad, he gave me his, and I really appreciate it because, oh my god, that's the main one that I actually wear, especially getting up in and out of my truck every single time, in this cold weather. But I have not been back in the negative degrees lately. Here lately, from what it's been doing, is lowest has been 20 degrees, not negative. Negative, I was like, doggone it. As a truck driver, you're supposed to do your pre-trips. Do you tell? Man, when I tell you, in 2 seconds, I was back in my truck. Okay? In 2 seconds, boy, I tell you. I, it's real tough being a truck driver. If you're not, notification that came through my phone. Sorry. If you're not prepared, if you don't prepare yourself for the duties and the things that we have to go through, you'll be lost out here, man. Because you have to do these things. You have to. But if y'all are not aware of what bunk heaters are, that's something I did not have. Going through the negative degree weather. Do you hear me? It was not working. I had to be in survival mode of getting some hand warmers, toe warmers, and this lap warmer is big. This full lap size. I had to buy 2 of those to place on my chest, my stomach, so that the heat can pretty much flow further down beneath. So with me buying that, came out to be $24. of something that only lasts up to $8. I mean 8 hours. See, there I go again, saying something about money. No. So, anywho, I ended up having to get that because some of these truck stops and the one that I was at parked at because I don't do too much of the night driving, all because of one company who ended up having me go through Pennsylvania, ended up putting me off into Pennsylvania downtown area. Why would if anybody knows about the Copilot, Copilot get you lost. So if you don't have the secondary option, then pull over and scan your area. Scan if it's meant for trucks, and if it's not. I've definitely been in some situations. Do you hear me? So I'm gonna go ahead and tell you that story. So as the co-pilot was telling me to make these turns, and as you know, downtown area is very tight, very tight. I was a great driver. I am still, not was past tense. Um, then I was driving, and of course I was excellent with knowing how to make my turns. But it came about this one turn, this one specific turn. I approached it because it said turn. Don't always approach something that tells you to do so. If you're unsure, don't do it. Stop. But that's the thing. I couldn't stop. I couldn't stop without impeding traffic. I was at a street light, and so cars were behind me, and they're so impatient. So one thing I had to learn for sure: forget them. They're just gonna have to wait or go around. If it's more than one lane and it's not a one laner, go around. Anywho, back to it. So I ended up approaching this turn, and when I realized, yep, this is what made me think back of why I should have never done it. Approached this turn, cars was right there, and right when I seen that the tail end of my truck, it was gonna flick that bugger away. It was. So I stopped. And yeah, could not back up. Couldn't. So I stopped. I called the police officer. I told him, I said, I'm a truck driver, and as I'm getting ready to make this turn, somehow I can't, and I need some escort assistance. Somebody need to come get me, please. Not get me, but get me out of this situation. They were like, man, what do you mean? You can't make this turn. I said, if you would see what I mean, then you will definitely see why I need help. Because I stopped instead of going forward and trying to get myself out of the situation. That was not happening. So the nightfall was just falling. Soon the police officer, nice guy. But as he's walking up, he's scratching his nuts. I'm like, I can see everything from above, from what I can see down below. I sit up here. I see down there, everybody down there. Why was he scratching his nuts? And he ended up asking for my driver's license. I'm like, here you go. I just don't want to release it fully. I didn't tell him that, but I like, because what I just seen, bruh, the way you hand it back to me, I'm gonna take it back like I handed it to you. Pinch it, and then disinfect it. One thing for sure, my mom, she gave me these I'm gonna show you. Be back soon. Give me 1 second. So, For an example, yes, as a truck driver, I have my Love's card because the showers are nice. Some locations are better than Pilot, but these right here saved me now, from germs and from being a germaphobe and everything. But at the time, I don't think I had my license in the sleeve yet. I was still trying to sort out my wallet. As you can see, it's still not sorted because it's busted. I got too much in here. I know. But doggone it, it's small enough to just put in my pocket. I ain't trying to carry no purse as no truck driver. What? Purses for women do not fit in our pockets. If it do, then shoot, you gotta really get them male pants, or with the pockets, and that's what I love to wear out on the road. Yes, trust me, I don't look like this while I'm driving my truck. No, I look like this. I don't care, cornrows and all. Cause who am I trying to look cute for? This was just only for the dog on the dish. Okay. They don't pay me enough to try to look good and everything. This ain't no modeling event. I'm single and shoot, I don't mind it. I ain't looking and I don't want nobody looking for me. Anywho, yeah, as you see, this is the real me. Yeah, my hair was longer than this. I'll tell you something about trucking. When you go to these companies and they need drug testing, and one of them is simply meant for hair follicle tests, let's just say, when you go, don't expect them to be a beautician. They're not a stylist. So, I went there. My hair was thick. It still is. I just ended up stretching it into some braids. But my hair is thick and curly. And young lady, she was like, I've never seen this curl pattern before. I've never seen this curl pattern before. So what do you mean? Are you expecting an answer? I don't know what to tell you, lady. I mean, this is my hair, Like, the DNA says it. I don't know what to tell you. But I ended up, she ended up saying, well, I have to take parts of your hair and it have to fit in this little compartment, this sleeve. So I think it was foil or whatever. But right where my finger is, the thickness of the hair had to fit off in there, but it had to be thick. I said, I hope you ain't planning on parting my hair and taking exactly all of what that is. And she was like, no. I will take it from here, 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 just enough to where it completes the thickness. And for me taking it from all other places, you would barely tell. The moment she snipped my hair from my root, I don't know, my insides jumped out of my chest, okay? Wait a minute. Are you sure I ain't gonna notice this? You sure nobody else is gonna notice this? Let me tell you, the moment she finished snipping my hair, I'm feeling all over my head. I'm like, clearly, hopefully nobody could see this. Nobody couldn't, but it's what I could feel. I noticed it was there. So I said, you know what, this is just gonna hurt me even more. Because as I straightened my hair was already longer, just finished growing back from when I had started going to truck driving school. Yeah, back in my young days, I smoked that. And so, of how much of those I smoked, it was gonna show up. Yeah, size of the fingers. Size of the fingers. And boy, did I know. I was not going to waste nobody time of me going, and I know I failed the drug test. Because several did. Several had made it so far in to passing the written test, but after they did that, and once the drug testing results came back, they got told that they failed. And once they fail, guess what? You have to pay that full amount of the money for the school, which is 4G. Nearly just as much as my phone G. So with that, it's like, yeah, I had to shave my head off. I had to shave it off. And so I had, a little shortcut, but I've done it before just for a start over. And usually when I do it, it's a reset within myself. It's for me to come back to reality. You feel me? I don't know. It's just something about it, just cutting your hair off and you feel like a new person. You feel like it's a start over. It's a beginning for you to start something, I don't know, refreshing, I guess. But as I did that, my hair started growing. It started growing. As soon as it started reaching that part of this thing, I gave it was about 2 years. And with hair, for some folks, it grows a little at a time. And with my hair being thick, my hair grow like this. My hair is thick and curly. And so from the big curly fro that I had for 2 years, it's maybe it was a half a year or so. I don't know, maybe over exaggerating. But from the time that I put in the application for Swift, now it wasn't the big Swift company, it was the third party Swift Enterprise, as it was told. I guess they have like some leasing program, something that was going on. And they do hair follicle tests. They do. So I go, I'm thinking I'm in there. You feel me? What kept me from getting the job was the company that I ended up going to after the company I was actually got from the school. This particular company had me go through Pennsylvania downtown all the time. For those of you who don't know what fairings are like the ears on the tractor of the truck. It's on the side. It helps with the wind. When I tell you, from making these turns that were tight, especially making U-turns and how close the trailer and the tractor is behind each other, fairings was popping. It was coming off. Yeah. It had my tractor look like a day cab one side and a bobtail. No, it's the same thing. And a sleeper. Like half and half on each side. That's how bad my fairings was popping every time they sent me down to Pennsylvania. They kept sending me down there like I love going down there. I don't know nobody down there. Stop sending me down there. Send me more south. I need to be flat. Kept sending me on doggone mountains. Yeah, it's beautiful, but doggone it, not that beautiful for where I need to go and think about living here. That's how I was feeling. Like my depression, anxiety was rising. It was rising sky high because every moment I felt like I was going there so many times. I was going there so much to the point where I felt like I needed to come home. And home is Texas for me. So I would travel back and, did that little reset from cutting my hair. And this time I'm not. I'm going to just let it grow because that was enough cutting. So I done shaved off a lot of the damage and split ends. So my hair is in good condition. So, yeah. situation about a truck life. But if you ever go to Pennsylvania, it's not a lot of big truck parking for known truck stops that have showers. Because the one truck stop that I go to all the time to park at, real big parking. What upsets me is that they don't have showers. It's called Rudders. Y'all should try it. If y'all ever end up going down a Pennsylvania, go to Rudders. It's a truck stop restaurant inside. The setup they have is a kiosk, and it kind of almost puts you in the mindset of Quick Trip with the Q, not the K. I have to tell everybody, yeah, I'm gonna just give it nicknames. So if I'm talking about QT, I'm talking about QT. If I'm talking about the KW, the one that's spelled KWIK, then I say KW. But no, the Quick Trip, the QT is what I'm talking about. They have a kiosk and you can, select what you want. Same thing at Rudders. Rudders have so many varieties of food. They have more food than QT. That's why I said, yeah. And guess what? They only have it in Pennsylvania. They do not have it in Texas. I'm like, why? Because I tried to look up the location. Location. Rutters. Can't misspell it. They only have it in Pennsylvania. Yeah. But it's tough being out here as a truck driver, having to drive on these icy roads. One thing for sure, from the place that Magnum, that's what I drive for right now, that Magnum send you through, they take care of their roads. I love that. I absolutely love that. I have not been on a road that has black ice or anything because they have these scooper trucks that come through and they scoop out the snow off the road. I like that. I like that. And a new law out here for truck drivers and everybody else who's traveling and trying to go about it, and y'all are impatient about traffic. One thing for sure, these snow plows, you could not pass them as a truck driver. That's $500 given to a police officer because they're going to write you a ticket if they see it. Yeah, I have to find that out. But I was told before that actually happened. I didn't know you couldn't pass a snowplow. Because I seen an opening. On the left side. They're not that big to haul both lanes. But that was the moment I ended up following behind somebody who actually did it. Because we're all trying to get somewhere. As truck drivers, we have to make this delivery. And you moving 2 miles per hour is pissing me off. And you in front of me too. Knowing you don't know how much I'm hauling. So with me stab breaking my doggone brakes and everything, bruh. So I found that opening. I said, I did. But you cannot do that. No matter how impatient you are, because from them going 2 miles per hour, they're trying to get every inch of what they could from the road so they can treat it and it can be drivable or whatever. But I got out of it without no issue. So as soon as I got around him, he got around me and he exited. Because I'm like, yeah, bro, pick a day where you don't see too much of anybody on the road. Or, I don't know. I ain't making no sense right now because, he is trying to treat the roads for us to be able to drive on it without having to drive on black ice. So, I do like that because other companies ago at J&R Sugar, that was the first time I actually had my experience with driving in icy weather. Oh my goodness, I was so paranoid. My anxiety was sky high. Sky high. And I still have yet to know how to put chains on my tires. But one thing for sure, if they say if you have to put chains on your tires, it's not good for you to actually drive. So I take the safe option. Yep, me. I'm pulling off. I'm not driving through this. Got me messed up. No. Because one day, yeah, I was at Sugar and I ended up having to pick up the top. I couldn't make that. Sorry. If you want me to go out and sprinkle this salt on the roads for y'all, then I will towards that direction. But you won't be getting this salt today. So I had shut down in Michigan. Michigan is where I shut down. And I shut down only because I counted 10 wrecks going through there. 2 of them was truck drivers. One on the left side, that jackknife. I see him facing me. He looking at me. He looking. On the right side, the truck driver in the ditch. Jackknife going that way. Another trucker down the road did the same exact thing. Bro, what are y'all gonna understand? We do not have snow resistant tires. It slips. It slips. Okay? No matter how good of a driver you are, you're gonna slip with a truck. It's gonna take so much trying to get us out of the situation that we put us in. They're gonna have to call a tow truck. You're gonna be behind schedule on your delivery. You might as well just park off somewhere. Shut it down. Be safe, you know? From the time that I was seeing it, I was already creeping, doing 25 miles per hour. I did that to, whew, that ranged up to 100 to 200 something miles, just about doing 25 miles per hour. Because I was trying to get as close as I could. So I knew where to shut down, and that's part of pre-planning. Didn't know too much about pre-planning then. I was still fresh, new, whatever. So I ended up shutting down at this rest area. But let me tell you about this rest area. This rest area, when I tell you, once you go in, you gotta continue. I go in, I didn't think it was gonna be a weird decline. Yeah, I was going down, baby. Man, when I tell you that slope, it had my tires going the opposite way. I said, Lord Jesus, please help me get through this madness. Oh my God, please. So anyway, my tractor was saying, nope, I want to go this way. Trailer said, I want to go this way. It was like heaven and hell. I'm like, look, look, man, shit. So yeah, it was a man. He was walking outside. He had already parked and did all this, so he knew exactly how to get me out of this situation. So I had to drive as close as I could to this truck that was parked in the left side of the direction. And he said, kind of underneath his trailer, but not necessarily under his trailer, you're going to steer that way because it's a dry patch. Once you reach that dry patch, kind of steer the opposite direction. And your truck will immediately turn in whatever parking space. If you can get in the space, fine. But, excuse me, but just fall into that lane over there to the right. And so I did. And I was able to park it there because I tried, well, see, I like to do stuff pretty good, you know. I tried my best to see if I could get it off up in the lane. It kept slipping. I said, I'm going to just park it right here. So I parked it. And the guy that was behind me in the slope that I let my window down. I told him, I said, look like we're sleeping right here because I'm not moving. But no, he ended up doing the same. And as I was parked, I got out of my truck. I said, let me actually see how I was doing. Because if I see how other trucks was driving down this slope, I'm like, dang, that's what I was doing? Dang. This other truck, oh my God. He, I don't know if he uh, is an advanced driver, but he had parked trailer on the grass and had the other off the curb and drove in it like a lean. Just scared. And he made it through. But the moment I I felt my tire reaching that curb, I panicked. I panicked. Yeah, I was a beginner driver, not advanced yet. So my immediate heart was in my hands at that time. It was like a stress ball. Boom, boom, boom. You know what I'm saying? So anyway, uh, I had to wait off in the morning. I checked to see if the snow was melting already, and it was. I was like, yes, yes. So I finally moved. Because when you end up staying another night because of snow, it may just end up getting worse. So my thing is, once you are already in a situation like that and you end up calling it for the night, it's a reason behind it. But I'm not gonna stay here. I'm gonna at least try to creep along the way, as far as I could. Because that night, it was already low visibility. The wind was crazy, blowing at 25 miles an hour. Dang. Yeah, that was something right there. And one thing I don't understand, I don't understand how trucks are able to see through this. Because you can't. So you just planning your death along the way. Like, well, wherever I end up going, that's where I'm going. No, that ain't how I think. Cause when I'm only able to at least go 45 to 50, if possible. It depends on how thick that low visibility is. Cause um, I don't think I've ever experienced seeing that in Texas. Maybe I have, maybe a couple of times, but upstate, Pennsylvania, Indianapolis, Michigan, maybe West Virginia, North Carolina, have this weird fog. And oh my God, I'm speaking of what happened of this year too. This year, I ended up going to Colorado. It was real cold, snow, everything. Coming out of it, going through to Wyoming to get to North Dakota, I never ever seen a snow cloud like this. Oh my God, I could not see because it was very hilly of how the direction it was taking me on because I was on this one lane road and every time I reached the top of the hill it was a snow cloud. People call it snow fog or whatever, but it was a snow cloud and you couldn't see nothing. All white, and I'm like, yo, I'm looking at my side mirrors like anybody behind me. One thing I don't like about these y'all car drivers, y'all like to stay in the center of our truck and trailer, knowing that I can see parts of the shadow, knowing if it's a car behind me. Stay away from my tail. Doggone it, I want to say something else, but stay away from my tail. At least let me see part of you on the left side, right side, however you want to put it. Because with me, you're going to get fed up with driving behind me. I use my brakes a lot if I have to. And brakes that I use is Jakes. That's what they call it. It's a secondary option that we can use as truckers to slow down the truck drastically. But it's been exciting. It's an adventure to being a truck driver, being able to see what else is out here before you die. You know, Um, that was part reasons why I became a truck driver. But I just knew it was always in my blood somehow, somewhere. As 2 years old, he would say, "How do you believe that?" Back at 2 or 3, whatever. At 2, my grandmother, she had got me this dump truck. Mom had got mad. She was like, "Why you get a truck and not a doll?" Ever since I had that truck, I was always liking trucks. Like, it was never set for boys to only get the toy options of having a truck. I wanted my dump truck, okay? So, ever since, I started playing with that one little truck, my life has been nothing but driving. Driving as a living. The crazy story about my life, about how I started this driving and everything. I got my license, driver license, in 19, and I was scared. I didn't know how to drive nothing. So I had a friend of mine at the time, who was my friend, and I can always, thank her every day about teaching me how to drive. At the time, I still didn't get it. I didn't get it until I got my own car, because that's where my comfortability came at. Because I don't know, I was extremely careful. I was careful in her vehicle, tried to at least. But that's all part of teaching someone how to drive for the first time, a couple times, whatever. Anywho, I started taking all these back streets. And that's how I was getting around to places. But it was taking me longer. It took almost about an hour just to complete these drives through the back streets. The moment I ended up being homeless, I was I made a mistake by breaking my lease. I didn't know when you break your lease is worse than having eviction. So when you break your lease, it's part of a responsibility option. If you don't live up to that option, it'll definitely interfere with you trying to get another apartment down the road. Every apartment I tried to get to, because I was sleeping in my car up to a year, being homeless, that was the only way that I was able to save money and to be able to um, afford a place. But I had this Kia Sorento 2003, and I was already having car issues and everything. Soon, days days down the line, I ended up going to O'Reilly, and this guy, real nice guy. I had him check a few things, under my car to see all the fixings that would definitely need to be replaced or fixed or whatever. And he noticed that I had a lot of stuff in my car. And I told him, I said, "I'm not broke for nothing, but it's just been hard for me to try to find an apartment." And when I tell you, God sends people to you, no matter of the forms. At that time, whether he was living or dead, to be an angel or just a good person that God had sent to me. He ended up telling me about these apartments that him and his wife at the time, but ex-wife, whatever, they knew about these apartments that was around the corner, and you very barely can find them on navigation. So he directed with his fingers, like that was his navigation. I was like, oh, okay, it's not that far. Okay, cool. Because I was fresh at learning my directions too, since I wasn't an advanced beginner driver. So I go over there, and I'll tell you, I broke down in tears, man. I did, because not only that I found the apartment complex, I walked in and I spoke to the lady. Her name is Kim. And I told her, that I was looking to move immediately because of my situation. I said, I don't care if the apartment is still getting renovated or still needs cleaning or whatever. I can do all that. I just need somewhere to be. I'm tired of sleeping in the car. And at the time, it was hot. Okay? It was hot. I don't think I was this bright from back then. That's why being a truck driver, yeah, definitely changed your skin complexion a little bit. But anyway, so she tell me about how they have this special running along. The deposit was what? I don't think the deposit first month rent free, and it was half pay. So I was to pay 500 of then, and I had a whole month and a half, like a whole month and a half, well, into a half to get myself situated and save up the. Well, I already had the money saved because it was really nothing for me to put down. So I had got a great deal. So that very day, I moved all my stuff in my apartment from my car. Tell me why. Um, okay, so from the whole time that I was actually homeless, I was working at Amazon, and yeah, it was a delivery job. Knowing that I don't know how to drive, I'll get to that in a minute. But the moment I ended up moving in, and maybe a day later, my car stops. I was like, "Are you serious? Why?" And it was a note to note car. And so I'm like, okay, so maybe it's a good thing. Because I just moved in this apartment, and the note was going to be due real soon, plus the insurance, and plus I was going to need to have my car fixed. I said, all this money I would be spending when I got an apartment and I need to pay these bills now. Responsibility hits different, which is why I've never had any issue walking. I've walked 5, 6 hours before, probably more than that. Yeah, now you can't really tell that I did a lot of walking because truck driving life, boy, it put my muscles back in place. It just gained a little bit, and hey, it is what it is. But so I started driving for Amazon. Back to that. And they started having a church band, little church band. They had all them other bands also, longer ones, taller ones, whatever. So she started me in there, and my heart, I'm nervous on the inside and out. She don't know that I don't know how to drive. The story about my life at Amazon. It was driver's ed for me. Every time she gave me a route, I was taking back streets to get to these people's address. Oh my god. Oh my god. When I tell you, it's crazy. It's crazy. I managed to get to finish, but by the time I finished, I was about at least an hour away. I was taking them back streets back on down, back where I was at, and I was always getting off at 12 midnight. Nobody can understand why. I wasn't gonna say it because I needed this job. This was gonna help pay for my bills, which did because that was more money than I've ever pretty much made at any other job that I've had. So with me having to drive through the back streets and everything, days passed. She tell me, we're getting rid of these church vans soon. My whole brain, my mind on the inside, this person is saying, no, no, oh my god, no. On the outside, I'm having to look like, oh yeah. And yeah, the next day, I was given the biggest fan. the biggest van. When I tell you, one thing for sure, I'm pretty sure it was several that knew I didn't know how to drive, because down the road we have to line up in line to be in order of where we'll be getting our stuff at in the warehouse, because they had a certain place to grab your stuff, scan the bags, and load up your truck. As they're watching me, I'm sweating. I'm I'm sweating because the whole time I'm driving in line or trying to, is this one area that when you have to make this curve, and I think I've jumped in jumped in one time. And reasons of how I drive now, if I am near to something like a curve or something like that, I try to stay near it because I know what not to hit anymore. It was just kind of keeping me back on track. So for the longest, when I did get used to driving on the freeway, I was always standing in the right lane. Before I became a truck driver, knowing that that's what truck drivers do, we have to stay in the right lane, but when the freeway extend, the middle lane becomes our left lane for us to get over to let a car on the ramp. So I really had had a lot of nervousness going through, this truck driving type position. But the moment, man, I don't know, like after 6 months, it finally clicked. I don't know what came over me of knowing how to drive, but it clicked. It clicked. I was I was a better driver than most who were actually doing the job. I felt like I was a speed racer at the time. It's a good thing, but then it's a bad thing, because when you feel that way, it's like your confidence is up. My confidence was up. I was feeling comfortable. I was relaxed more. I was um, willing, to get the job done, in order for me to have a great check. So from that time, started with Amazon. I was at Amazon, this one company, for 4 years until I sprained my ankle. Because each and every time, okay, so I ended up graduating, basically. So it started from a church van to the next bigger size van to a step truck. Do you hear that order? Church van, tall van, step truck. That's like the biggest truck. Do you hear me? I had to teach myself. Well, they go through it with you in training and everything. They have these cones out and everything, having you maneuver, doing so I forgot what names of how they call it, but uh, yeah. Anyway, you have to do this through the cones, back and forward, back and forward. So I was doing that, and I aced it. I was shocked. Everything that I aced, I was so nervous about. How? Oh my God. So I had to teach myself how to drive that too. But the one thing I did not like about the doggone step truck, it didn't have no doggone radio. That's how I was getting my day gone. So I ended up putting my speaker in there. And knowing that the truck is basically aluminum, yeah, it echoed a great bass through it. So I'm like, yeah, y'all think y'all slick keeping the radio from being inside the vehicle? Yeah, I'm gonna create my own. So I did just that. I did. And so after that, being there and spraining my ankle, I could not return back to work because, for one, I wanted all my money. You know what I'm saying? Everything that I work for, I want my money. I didn't sign up for benefits for anything to be taken out of my checks because I was not expecting to get hurt on duty. So I ended up, or they ended up telling me that I needed to see a physician to get a clearance form. Didn't know anything about it. but I could not return back to work until they told my company that it was okay for me to return back doing my physical duties. So when they didn't say anything about it, that was my company that got me the money that I got or had to get that apartment that time. He was amazing. The guy who owned the company, he was he was in the military, and his wife, she was a doctor. But I missed out on that when they explained that in the meeting or whatever. But I didn't want no benefits because I was not expecting it. So you live and you learn. But I still don't do benefits like that. Still, I try to at least be extra careful so that I don't have to go through all that. But I know I need some as a truck driver because we are driving these hazardous vehicles. Yeah. But it was it was two other companies. I drove for a HelloFresh after okay, let me back up. Let me try to make it make sense. So, the Amazon place I was at, they was not letting me back for my sprained ankle until I had the information to bring to them to let them know that I was able to. I ended up going to another contracted company, but didn't stay there long, um, or they let me go because they already had a lot of people there. And around January, that's expected for a lot of companies to let go drivers because that was during peak season. So they considered me as seasonal or whatever. And so that's how the other company did after that too. And when I noticed that a lot of these Amazon companies wasn't keeping me, I'm like, you know what? I looked on Indeed and I found this other trucking company I've never heard of. It was my first time hearing about HelloFresh. I got hired through Trillium. Trillium is a contracted company within HelloFresh. When I tell you, the money was up. The money was up. Being a delivery driver there, I was able to save about 3 G's and still able to help my mom with her bills and everything. Oh yeah, I was in there. I was in that thing. And it was weekly pay. $19 an hour. And a lot of people, they had second jobs. So it was plenty of days available. So I was picking every day, everybody's day up. I was doing the doggone thing. Yeah. I was working at least over 70 hours in a week. Of course, they would still give me my off days or whatever. And if I was over too much of my hours, they'll have me, pick up assisting days, like to assist people who need help, who have a difficult route, especially with these apartments or businesses. Ugh, I did not like those, especially going through Dallas downtown areas for business. What parking do y'all have? I I wish the people who actually made this a downtown area, you should have had better parking for delivery services. Like, it's very little parking for cars. And then you want to charge, you want to pay? What? You want to have us pay for parking when we giving y'all business? What? That's crazy. Yeah. But um that was a good job. I just, messed up on something. Can't talk about. I will not. I refuse to talk about it on camera. But yeah, that was my cue. That was an opening to actually look into truck driving school. And I did. I did. In the time being, as I was waiting to get started with the truck driving school, I was working at these temp jobs. Yeah, I'm always a hustler. I gotta try to make some money to work towards what I'm trying to do. So after all that, I was nervous. I was always pushing it further away because I'm like, I don't think I'm ready. I don't think I'm ready. But then I don't know. It gave in. I gave in, and they had living. They paid for the living situations. They paid for meals, um, breakfast and lunch. Sorry, y'all. Breakfast and lunch. And so I did that, and yeah, um, it took me three, 3 to 4 weeks probably for the training indoors, and out. Of course, that was part of the outside in the yard of being in front of instructors telling us to do what they wanted us to do, like offset, straight back, and stuff like this. And then it led up to driving on the roads, even a little time of the freeway. But they were just trying to teach us the basics, which it was very difficult because I was the worst one there because they kept calling these doggone cones Kenny when all these doggone cones are orange. At least have Kenny the different cone out of the pack. He should have been green or pink or yellow for that matter. But you have all these doggone cones orange. Really. So I was always losing my space. I would always forget or couldn't remember which way I came out, what space I came out of, because he would like us to come out of that space and then maneuver into another space. Look, I just ended up going back into the space because I didn't know. I'm like, maybe I am doing it right. But it was that one person who actually helped me who found this little coin. It was a metal coin. Of course, it go on a truck or car or something like that, or equipment. Just say that it was heavy, and he had some spray paint, and so he painted it, and he said use this for how far you want to pull up and do your offset and all this other stuff that I have to do. I used it. It worked. Everybody was looking like she was the worst one here, and she get it. What is her? What is the magic? I should have never said the magic. Cause y'all was all talking about me, how I was the worst driver out here. And I won't make it or anything. That's not what people said, of course not. But it's just the reactions was speaking louder than words. That's when you use that statement. And so they started, next thing you know, everybody started finding rocks and stuff. Spray painting rocks like a pet. We had our little pet situation, and we kept it. And I'm pretty sure a lot of people still keep these rocks on their truck. But mine was a flat coin, so I can just put it in my pocket or in my binder or something like that. But I don't know where that doggone coin is. That coin is. Because out here in the real world, I just feel like it's a waste of time because it's very time consuming, especially when they say, get in this dock right here. And you have other trucks behind you in the way and all this and that. And so you really have to train yourself to be patient. Because the more you impatient, things will not go your way or right at that. So I had to learn how to be patient because, man, driving my own car, I tell you, I'm the most impatient person. I break loose as soon as I get off the truck and I go home. You feel me? I am not the same as what I am on the road. I let you have it. I'm gonna let you have it, you. But yeah, I love to drive on the freeway. It's very therapeutic. It's therapy to me. It's relaxing, breathtaking, especially when you are driving on the mountains and just being out. Period. It's a free vacation, even though you're doing it for work, and you can't really um, spend your time there. Because it's always load, load, load. As soon as you finish delivering this one, you're getting this one handed to you. So that's the only thing. But the one thing for sure, we have 34 reset, 34 hours of reset. See, I'm gonna try to explain this. Okay, so if your 70 hours run out, for it to make sense, at a normal job you can't work over 70 hours. So if we run our 70 hours, then we would have to get our we have to gain our hours back in order for us to go back to work. Basically, it's being off 2 days. Being off 2 days is our 34-hour reset, which is why at other companies, when you are off those days for 2 or 3 hours, y'all are still gaining y'all hours back in order for you to be able to go back to work or pick up a shift or something like that. So it's kind of the same scenario in a way. So that's what a 34-hour reset is. Um, what else to know? I said a lot. I'm sorry. I didn't know. Ooh, up to an hour. Doggone it. Sorry, y'all. But yeah, it was never easy. It's not easy. It's either meant for you or it's not. Um, I didn't know if it was meant for me, but since I paid my dues of being here, because from the school that I was in, I was on a contract of up to a year, but I wasn't making no money. I wasn't seeing no money there. So how was I going to continue loving the fact that I am a truck driver? No. I left at 7, maybe 8 months. Uh, that was closer to a year. Yeah, I give them that. But I said, no, I've had it. I've had it with them because they would have you sit and wait for days until you have a load and you're not too much getting paid for this. And it wasn't a lot of what I should have known or what I didn't know I needed to know at FFE. So I didn't know if I was putting in certain things correctly. The reason why my money was always short, because it was just not adding up from the money that I was making at companies that are not um, meant for driving or meant for driving. I was making more of. People think that being a truck driver is it. It may be the company, you know, depending on the company that you go to, how much CPM they're giving you, and the loads of how much loads they're giving you, and for you making your on-time deliveries. So if you ain't doing all that, your checks are gonna look a little short. Checks be looking like 7 something. Checks can sometimes look like 6 and then go lower than that. And it's like, how are you even able to keep up with a house or an apartment? That's probably why trucking is a house on the road for you. I wouldn't know how to set aside trucking of making up enough to cover bills, because you don't have an expected check. Like, you don't know what to expect of what your checks will look like. That's what I'm trying to say, because it's based off the loads of what they give you. They can either give you 1,000 miles here. Out of the next week, it can be as low as 400 miles each day, and it equals up to the entire week, which is not enough. So if you get 400 miles here or 600 miles here, and then the next day 200 miles here, or the next day 300 or 400 something miles, that's not nothing. That's nothing in the trucking industry. Now, if you're an owner operator, I don't know too much about owner operator. All I know is you're shelling out more money. hmm So I'm not. That's not towards what I'm trying to do. I have my own business that I'm trying to grow. Okay, I'm not trying to invest in all of what I'm trying to do with the doggone truck. Because it may be for a long extended time, but if I don't, I, I don't know. I'm trying to I'm trying to rotate things out of what I need done to make my business grow, for my money to grow. If I ain't seeing that within the next 5 years in trucking, it may just not be it for me. It may not be. I just like to stay on the go. It's a minor vacation as I'm getting paid. But with that to even work, I would need to, gain more traffic on my business, on my website, and have the money rolling in that way in order for me to have the things that I need to have. Because I am into architect, engineer, and inventing stuff. I come up with these ideas. But with everything requires money for you to shell out ideas and everything else like that. So if I'm if I'm coming up with all these ideas on paper and whatever else, it's not doing me no good. All it's doing is stressing me out and getting me older. So I don't know. But as of right now, I got to go. It's finally that time because I got a delivery that I'm going to Pow, Michigan. Or maybe that's Minnesota. No, it's Michigan. I'm sorry. MI. See, being a truck driver, you just learn so many abbreviations of places that you go to. It's like, what is that? MI is Michigan. MN is Minnesota. Mm, yeah. Well, I guess I'll get up out of here. It was fun while it lasted from the room that they got me. That's one thing I like about trucking. If your truck break down and your AC or your heat ain't working or whatever, they will pay for your rooms. Because especially based off the weather, whether it's too hot outside for you to die in your sleep from heat stroke, or if it's too cold for hypothermia for you, they will definitely get you a room. And especially if they're fixing on your truck and it still ain't fixed, they'll get you a room. That's one thing they're good at. They have mobile delivery. I mean, not mobile delivery. Mobile mechanics to come to you. But with this company, Magnum, all of where we actually fill up at is Pilot and Flying J. So with their mobile service, I have yet to see a Pilot mobile service. From other companies I've worked at, we've been able to fuel up at Love's, TA, Pilot, and Flying J. But no, not this company. Two. They only give two options. So I guess they have their own mobile service to get to you. But hopefully I won't have to call anybody. I just try to at least push through it. Of course, I'm gonna have to do my pre-trip. Like of today, oh man, it's rainy, wet outside. It's crazy. So I know it's gonna be a lot of people on the road that don't know how to drive through the rain that I have to deal with. It's gonna be slow travel through 45 minutes away from my delivery place. That's why I had shut down here of yesterday because I was already close in range. But I need to push through this rain. It's crazy. It definitely make a difference, of driving conditions. You don't want that slip too much. So if it's raining now, I gotta continue to push through out of this. I don't want to have to, stay off up in the rain like this. So, yeah. But if anybody is willing to come to Magnum, I'm gonna tell you this: they only have reefers. Now they have drive-ins, but it's not in an offer um, to us, I guess. because LTL, um, line haul, something like that. However they explained it. All I know is they not offering it. It may be just for local drivers only. So, I guess I was confused when I accepted to come. So far so good, but I did not want to have to drive another reefer truck. So as you know, I got what I did not want. But I have to stick with it for right now. It may be it for me, and it may not. So it's always good to hear feedback from driver managers to know how I'm doing. It don't matter if you're a woman out here. Shoot, you get treated equally, male or female. Okay, or binary. What y'all call it? Binary, binary, non-union. I don't know. Y'all got so many doggone names. Lesbian, trans. I don't know. Anyway, you get treated equally. So, whether you are any of those categories, you're good. You're good as a trucker. Everybody can do it. It's really not that hard. Once you're sitting in the driver's seat, it appears to look just like your car. You're just sitting taller. And from the school that you actually go through, they teach you these techniques. They teach you what to look for. So the moment you drive and your eyes, okay, they basically train you to scan all around you, like through training. That's what I didn't go over. Through training, they have you, once you're in the driver's seat, they say, call out your mirror checks. Call out your mirror checks. It helps. It helps because when you are finished with the training and everything, it's going to be stuck in your mind. So you have to call back. Mirror check to the right. No traffic coming. Mirror check to the left. No traffic coming. No traffic. Proceed is now. Or proceeding now, or you'll say when you actually on the main street, you like, mirror check, or up ahead, I see a car. Having to call it out was literally a little hard because in my mind, I know what to see, but it's just a matter of saying it. And so the more you said it, it would stick. It'll actually have your eyes going all around places like this. You will never miss anything. Like you can probably see a cat cross the road from your side view as you're driving. I don't know. It's like because when I'm driving straight, that's probably why they have you do that. Because from what I notice when I'm driving and I see a car coming up from my left view or my right view, but I'm face forward, driving and everything without having to turn my head, I know that that car is coming. And so I immediately would hit my flashers. Yeah, one thing for sure, as truckers, we have these flashers called thank you lights and you're welcome lights. Okay, so the thank you lights are in the front of your truck to let someone know that it's cool to get over into your lane, because a lot of trucks and a lot of cars don't know the distance. When I bounce back to driving in my car, I try to be that person in a car versus a truck to see what they are seeing, just so I can understand better as I'm driving a truck. So as I'm driving in my car, I noticed, I'm like, I can clearly see them right here. Why are people so scared of getting in front? Like, whatever. As long as you communicate. In driver's ed, I'm pretty sure they teach you that, of communication, with how to use your lights and looking and everything like that. I don't understand. Because I created a doggone game out here on the roads. Like, that's what keep me up. Keep me up is crazy. It keeps me up and listening to music. So I see a car coming from the left lane, especially if it's two lanes and it's a car coming, or they are further back and they're both lined up together from the left and the right. That's what creates traffic. So if you did not know, that's what creates traffic because they're thinking. They're trying to think, can I go or can I not? And they're bouncing back thinking these words answer conclusions in their mind about whether they should continue to go because they are driving next to a bigger size vehicle. So I use my rear lights. The rear lights are thank you lights and your welcome lights. That's what I call them. Communicate lights, basically. And that lets a car know that it's cool to come up and pass me because I see you. I see you. As long as you see me, I see you because I'm staying in this lane. There's no reason for me to get in the left lane. We cannot drive in the left lane. We can pass a trucker from the left lane to get back into the right because some of these truck drivers, they're only they can only be governed at, I think the lowest is maybe 63 or 65 because that's what I'm going. 62 by pedal and 65 with cruise control. Man, all these other companies, I was able to pass trucks. Now everybody passing me. So I have to be okay with it. I have to be more than okay with it. Of, you know, driving and trying to get to my destination. My schedule is all over the place because I have to I have to schedule like now I'm gonna give y'all a trick. I'm gonna give you a trick for a truck driver. So in order for you to plan your trip of each day, you'll take your mileage. Let's see. I'm gonna give actually 1 second. I'm gonna break it down to you. Okay, I'm back. Sorry, y'all. So I have two phones, of course. This is more like a business phone and my music phone. Because I've had it for so long, and so when I'm driving in the truck, I don't I don't like that Bluetooth of a phone call coming through the doggone radio because it interrupts my music when I have a headset and I can just hit that button and talk to you. And if I still want to listen to my music because you called me, I will have it on low, but that's what gets me through my day. But as a truck driver, sometimes we do need to talk. Having conversation do get us through the day. But one thing for sure, if you're gonna call me to have a conversation, don't immediately get off the phone when you're helping me through something. You're helping me go through these mountains, these difficult mountains, and if you tell me, all right, well, I'm a hit you back later. I'm gonna let you focus. No, you are helping me focus. Like, why would you do this to me? You called me, and now I don't want you to get off the phone. But when I, avoid a phone call, it's not because I'm not wanting to talk. It's because you're not gonna keep me focused and keeping me up. Like, I need something that's gonna keep me up and not keep me sleepy. I'm not saying anybody who called me, boring. No, it's just I need that keep me up moment because I'm having my job, my duty is to drive. Everybody else's job who are not a truck driver, you go to work and you work physically. You're up, down, up, down. I'm just sitting in a seat and I'm traveling for hours. So, I expect for, somebody to call me and you stay on the phone and keep me up for hours or something like that, but I do get through my day with listening to music, because I write music. I love poetry, and I just love sounds, and so that's basically what keeps my brain going. And when I'm just now waking up early off in the morning, it's it's coffee to my brain. It opens my eyes. And what also boosts that? Dr. Pepper. I know it's crazy. I shouldn't be drinking Dr. Pepper because, as you see, it got a little acne and everything. But I've always had that. That's okay. And I ain't worried about who is talking about it or anything. So it's whatever. It's aging as I age. So whatever. Anyway, as I was saying, Dr. Pepper is my coffee. Early in the morning, it it opens my eyes. It makes my eyes clear. A friend of mine who I was teaming up with back in 2023, that was her go-to of drinking Dr. Pepper. And when she told me that, because man, I tell you, being with my trainer, going through the driving and everything, I was downing. Y'all ready to hear this? 14 cans of Red Bull each day. Just about, maybe 7. Maybe I'm over exaggerating, but it was a lot each day. Because as she was sitting in the driver's seat, I mean not driver's seat, but passenger seat or the sleeper bunk, she was like, "You need anything back here? Yeah, can you pass me another Red Bull?" I will not drink Red Bull on the road. It's just like a 5-hour energy drink. It will give you so much energy up until that time. I don't like feeling like that. I know how a 5-hour energy drink operates because I was not a truck driver at this time. I was working in a warehouse and I had to work 12 hours standing up through and through, and we only had one break throughout the entire day. And so from the days that I would have to use the restroom, I would be trying to close my eyes on the toilet, you know what I'm saying? So one day I ended up getting a 5-hour energy drink. Asked the lady, I said, "Which one is best? I don't know too much about 5-hour energy drink." I think I had got the purple or the red one. I don't know, whichever one that tastes good from what she told me, I ended up getting. Never again. Because when it says 5-hour energy drink, it's only going to last up until 5 hours. That is not something that I can stick up with, because I've heard people dying from it. It's making your heart speed like you're on drugs, or man, people just died off of it. I ain't trying to do that. So with the Red Bull, that's just like a 5-hour energy drink as driving. I'm not trying to crash, not crash physically, but crash mentally behind no doggone wheel for when it says it only lasts up to 5 hours. I don't need to go all over the place like I got sugar in my body. Like that's giving sugar to a baby, and they all over the place. They don't know how to relax. They don't know. They just bouncing. I'm not trying to be that. I'm not trying to. No, no, it's not gonna work for me. So with drinking the Red Bull, I was feeling myself being getting ready to crash, like I was getting sleepy. And of course, I told my trainer, of course, because they try to train you into driving at least 11 hours in a day, maybe 12. Yeah, yeah, because you can't go over um, 14 hours in a day. So yeah, she had me driving and everything, and the one thing that I didn't like from the first time that I was actually over the road and I was driving, she did not want me to have the radio on. I get it, from my focus zone, but even with me driving in my own personal vehicle, I need something. So I was sneaking some earbuds in my ear, and I said, I gotta have some type of music, you know? So when she noticed that I did, she was like, it's cool, but just only have one end, and I need you to be able to hear me if I, say something or whatever. So I'm like, okay, cool. But one of the buds ended up going out. I'm like, now I gotta use the right side. Oh my goodness, because this was this phone, and so I don't receive calls from this phone. I can if my hotspot is on, but I don't use this for personal calls. And so with the headset that I use for personal calls, if I was to play music on that phone, then after I get off a call with somebody, my music stop playing or something like that. I don't want to have to deal with all that because I can't be on my phone. I don't be on my phone when I'm driving anyway, so that was never a go-to. But I'm like, dang, really? But anyway, I kind of got off the subject a little bit. So, all right, calculator. That's not calculator. Calculator. All right. Let me lower that. Okay, the lighting on this doggone thing. Okay, can you see? Okay. Okay, so what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna say 500. Nope. Wait. Let me type it in by looking at it first, because I can't do it backwards like that. 500 divided by, I say 65. 65 is how fast my truck is able to go to. And so I know this is backwards showing on y'all's end, but that's 500 divided by 65, which shows 7 point da 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 behind it. Don't worry about them extra numbers. The very front number right there is how far you are from you reach your destination. You can always add an hour or two on. Um, yeah, add an hour or two on, because you're a truck driver and you never know what's up ahead of you. It can always be traffic, something interfering with your day. So that's not always legit, but it's legit. It is. It's accurate when you putting it in your GPS, your trucker's GPS, and that's what it's saying, you know. But of course, that adjusts. It adjusts for you. I'm gonna show you an app. Okay, so we cannot use Google Maps because it's not for trucks. So it took the longest. It took a long time for me to actually understand my Garmin. For a long time, since see this probably would have got me from traveling through Pennsylvania area if I would have known how to use it, because it updated into another version and I didn't know how to go about going from the from how it was what am I trying to say? The updated version looked different from the old version. And so it just was not working for me. So I bounced to Copilot. But several companies ago, this is why I interact with so many people I work with. They tell you some things that you don't know, and you just gather from each company from a person who actually helps. Somebody ended up telling me about Hammer. Hammer, yes. When you are a truck driver and you don't know what to do, and all you have is maybe two different GPS systems, maybe three. The third one could be from your phone when you're scanning the area and looking at the steps. This is what I learned because I didn't know too much of, anything besides the basics of Google. When I know I'm 31, dog, I should know these things, right? But I don't. I didn't. But now I do. So when you put in an address and this is the truck location, you're gonna hit the directions. And as you're scrolling and it's telling you the steps and everything, it gives you a picture, and you're able to do a 360 view of knowing where is your entrance and your exit, because some of these companies do not have a sign outside saying this is an exit or this is an entry. That's when it become pretty hard, because that's when you may not have a pull off room to actually sit on the side to try to figure this out. So it's always good if you're up to 30 miles out from your destination to look it up, and yeah, to look it up and know exactly where you're heading off to. It's only so far that my mind can go for me having to remember steps and stuff like that. So it's very challenging with me, because I have to be near the direction or the destination or whatever in order for me to look it up, for it to be a fresh memory. Because as you're traveling from 40 miles from when you look up your directions, something can throw it off, and my mind wanders, especially when they train you to look all around and you have in what's in your mind. You hear the repeating voices of mirror check, car on this side, car on that side, and then you're reading the signs and everything, because that's what they have you do in training and everything. When I tell you they simply messed me up inside, it feels like PTSD. It do. I'm not gonna go through that from what I just said, but it's like they had you trained like you was in the military, of how they taught us. Like it's crazy. It drives me crazy sometimes, but I'm used to it. I adjusted to it. I guess that was a problem, because it took me a little time to adjust to how they wanted us to do in order for us to be great drivers, which I can now say I am. So, uh, yeah, man. Who's willing to be a truck driver? I know it's plenty out there. It definitely more women out here. But what one thing I noticed is not a lot of women within the company that another woman is working. They simply be behind office desks. But when you meet them, you most likely will meet them or see them out in places that you travel to, like from other companies. But it's like, dang, it is a lot of male out here, but it's more females, but just scattered all over the place from different directions, different companies. But you'll meet so many good people out here. You just gotta be watchful, because people they can be so cruel out here, and you have to protect yourself somehow. Somehow, gotta be creative with that, just like creative parking. But with the creative parking, man, that's why it's always good to scan your day of how you think your day is going to be, of traveling. See, how I like to drive, I like to drive from maybe 7 in the morning to, it varies, probably to 4:30 to 5, because around that time, that's when you start seeing and noticing a lot of truck drivers getting off the road to find parking. And if you don't want them bad, tricky parking spaces, then plan your trip so you'll know where you will pretty much end up shutting down at. I don't do that. I just continue with my drive. When it gets close to the time that I start noticing a lot of trucks is filling up the parking area, and it's close to that time, I shut it down immediately. Especially like in, I'm gonna name some places that fill up pretty quick. Chicago. Dang, I know it's several places that fill up really quick. Um, that have some tricky parking areas. Um, Colorado. What was that place I was just at? Oh, North Carolina, West Virginia, and in some of these truck parking areas, you have um, to be familiar somehow about these truck parking. If you notice that the truck stop always full, it's always a company nearby that stay there, like live there. That's how it looks, for days. Because I didn't notice that until I was in North Carolina, and this one truck stop. They told me not to say nothing, so I won't say the name. But she told me that the reason why trucks is always here in full is because it's an Amazon nearby, and they have their drivers come here to stay in park, knowing that it's a bunch of them. So they basically abusing the parking spots, um, from having their employees or their workers or their drivers parking here. It's not fair to other drivers who come from all over. Like, I mean, everything ain't always fair, man. Shoot, that's all I gotta say. Because now, with that being said, it's like we have to literally find creative parking. Because as a truck driver, you cannot park on side of the freeway. You can't. You can't do it. But there have been a couple of times where I didn't have no choice. I didn't have no choice to do. It was everywhere that I checked upon, it was full. And I'm not gonna travel back and forth 30 something miles out from the shipper that is 5.6 miles away from this truck stop that is full. So, in that type of situation, I ended up parking on the side of the freeway because I was closer in that range when the time came for me to get up, and I didn't have to get up so early to make it to my appointment time. I think like that, yeah. Because if I was 30 miles out, anything could have happened within me being in that travel zone. Like traffic, a crash, a fatal accident. Because, boy, I tell you, traveling through West Virginia, the traffic, there was a fatal accident on the mountain. I was so far back I could not see it. But I was in traffic for 6 hours. Six. Six. Mm-mm-mm. That traffic time, I've never seen traffic pile up like that. From the side view of my mirror onto the right, all I seen was nothing but trucks. Nothing but trucks. And on the left side, trucks. I'm like, dang. We out here, man. I'm like a military. Oh my god. And then off to the left, it had this little space in between that was broke road or whatever for people to do U-turns. I seen 4 trucks making U-turns going the opposite direction. I said, I will not. Do you know the difficulties I've had to go through to get here? Shit. Excuse my language. Excuse my language. That right there was tough, man. Had elderly people in front of me. I was, I wasn't watching, but I was watching. But I wasn't watching. I'm gonna say this because they had blankets, and there was a guy from the back seat. Opened the door, uh, with a blanket. and he put it over the back door, and he was standing right there. And then I seen the driver uh, get a blanket too in a diagonal angle. She had a blanket, and it was a lady in the front area, and she was squatting. He was pissing, but it was getting all on him, so he kept inching back. I'm like, oh wow. And as I was noticing that, shoot, I had my porta potty in the back. I finna do the same thing, but I ain't finna squat and have it trickle down my leg for however long we finna be sitting in this traffic and you finna be smelling like pee. No. But you gotta have a travel package. You know, when you're traveling, you don't know how the travel is going to be, whether you're going to be stuck in 6 hour traffic. Oh man, you gotta have cups on deck. You gotta have a pot on deck. Something. You gotta have something. But hey, she handled that business well. She handled it. I handled mine. I started, man, eating in the back. As soon as I go to the back and I eat, there you go. We inching some more, and I'm the one that that's further from the traffic that left from at the top. So I travel some more. I'm able to do 60 miles per hour. But do you think for long? In under 5 minutes, we're back at a standstill. I'm like, yo, what is going on? I literally told my driver manager that I would be able to make it to my destination at 5. Do you know? I didn't get there until, let me see, let me backtrack. It was 11 a.m. Traffic didn't clear until I think it was 5-ish, 6-ish. So, yeah, it was a pretty bad accident. Pretty bad accident. So, with me being 200 miles out, no, I was 300. And literally it said 304. I'm like, why am my miles reading this? I start inching up so it can be read 303, but it said 304 out. Look. But anyway, um, thank y'all for watching. I didn't mean to keep y'all up this long, but thank you. Y'all have a wonderful day. I'm gonna get this drive on and drive on these wet streets. Gonna be a seal out here. Gonna swim on these roads. No, I'm playing. All right. Y'all have a wonderful day. Thank you. Bye. How you eating this? How you eating this? Not playing. Yeah. What?